Welcome to the Pink Sphere podcast. This is your 30 minutes of pink, a weekly space to pause, breathe, and tune into something that might just change the way you move through the world. Today, we're going inward, into the patterns we carry, the younger parts of us we've ignored, and the archetypes that can help us feel whole again. And today, we have Elisa with us. She's a coach and guide who helps women reconnect with their inner child, understand their emotional blueprint, and work with archetypes to grow, not just cope. Hi, Elisa. I'm so
Hi,
glad you're here.
Hi, Nadin. Very nice to be here with you.
Let's start with this question. How do childhood wounds tend to show up in our adult lives and relationships?
It usually shows up like a greater reaction, bigger reaction given the conditions. It's like we're not just reacting to what's going on in the situation, but with a bigger load on our shoulders. For example, if I am talking with my partner about, I just see him talking with another woman, and directly I feel that I can lose him, and then I react and accuse him of being cheating me or whatever. I'm projecting lots of insecurities in the situation. So the good side of this could be recognizing that I'm caring more than he's doing and ask him, what are you doing? Is this okay? Is your way of being? Does this mean something else? Or just to check where is the point in the situation and where's my reaction in interfering with it. Probably I've been rejected in the past, in my family or with other partners or whatever, and I'm afraid to being rejected again. So this reaction that I have is a way of self-protection. But sometimes it's not according to the circumstances in the present.
And how can, understanding our personality type help us heal in these situations?
So our personalities usually are the mask we developed to cope with the situations of abandonment, rejection, injustice, all the things we feel during our growth, especially our childhood and adolescence, sorry, they make us cope with the situations and with the tools we have at that moment. So the personality is the development we create around these wounds. So how can it help? Usually we need to go back and check if this way of behaving it it's really us or it's just a bunch of coping mechanisms, which is usually that.
Okay, yeah.
So it's it's a random thing. Obviously,
It's all
if
connected to
this
each other.
if we develop these mechanisms, it's because they were useful at some point. So we can use some parts of these coping mechanisms to help us now, but we have to put them in quarantine. Like, okay, I can take from this, but not this because it's not useful anymore.
Yeah, and then is there a childhood wound you often see in the woman you work with? Is there a common wound, you know?
Yeah, usually it's abandonment. All the five big childhood wounds are present, and we all have more or less of each one of them. But usually, in a non big traumatic childhood, it's abandonment because society requires of every child, not just women, but women in our culture is more educated in a way to be a nice girl, to be the good student, the caregiver, the helper in the house. You help your mom, you help your dad, you help your brothers and sisters, even more if you're the eldest one. It depends on the family, of course, but um, yeah, usually it's this way of being educated that creates a self abandonment because we learn how to put others' needs before our needs.
Oh,
So then we self-abandon ourselves.
okay.
So then we start to be in relationships where we think this is normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then we keep doing the same pattern again and again till there's a point where you cannot hold that anymore. And then you realize that maybe you have to change your way of living.
Being selfless, putting others first, caring for others, does that cause abandonment issues?
Yeah, because you are recreating that boom all the time. It doesn't mean that when you take care of yourself, you don't take care of others. And that's the point. We usually learn that there are two sides, just two sides of the coin. So instead of taking care of ourselves, we take care of others. We don't find the way to balance both things because in our
Mm-hmm.
families, normally, our, our parents don't know how to do that. If they want to give love, usually give things. They give work, they give attention, and it's a good way of giving it. But depending on where are you doing that from,
Mm-hmm.
it's a total difference. If I'm giving because I have enough in myself and I'm overloaded with love and time and space, well, that's perfect. You're creating a very lovely environment around you. But if you're giving that because you think you have to be something else for others to be accepted, then you're giving that space of lack.
Hmm.
And actually, it's a very, very subtle manipulation. In the name of being loved, I do things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's very tricky because you think you're being very lovely, you're being very nice, you're doing lots of things, so you will receive love in return. And that's
Hmm.
that's how, sorry, that's how our parents educated us and society. You have to be good, you have to study, then you receive marks. There's always a compensation, there's always a transaction with
Mm-hmm.
everything you do. And if you go home and that year you didn't do very well your exams, probably you will see your parents disappointed. So if even if they don't try to do it on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
but if you as a child are not explained that it's okay, okay, you fail, let's see what happened, let's see how we can fix this, blah 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 blah. As a child, you just see the reaction, and you don't have tools to understand they love you anyway.
Yeah.
A child
Yeah.
mind just as simple things like I didn't pass the exams, they don't love me, or they don't give me attention, and
Hmm.
that's what your mind, your child mind joins, and
Yeah.
then you see, okay, if I want this love, I have to then I have to do this or study more or winning at sports or whatever the family is.
Yeah.
Speech having the
there's
family.
always there's always something you need to do in order to be loved. You feel that way, and that causes problems in your future, in your adult life. And what are some, you know early signs that someone might benefit from inner child work?
Hmm.
When can you notice that you need to work on your inner child?
I guess 98% of people need it. Yeah, yeah, because well, depends on the culture. There will happen different things, but
Mhm.
things will happen. Maybe some culture are more productive, others are more family joined. But the thing is, there's always something that we learn about. Um, turn off the volume of our intuition in the
Mhm.
name of being accepted in the family, and this happens in every family system, everywhere in the world. So different people will benefit from it. But the thing is, when you start working with that, it's important to find the balance between your inner child, your inner adult, and the father inside, which is not your father. It's all the culture and the statements you learned during your growth.
Mhm.
So the adult is the one who is going to be balancing between the adult and the child, the adult and the father, and the adult between the other two of them. So if I go directly to work with my inner child, but I don't balance it with my adult, then I will probably I will look like a schizophrenic. Like I could go naked in the street. Yeah, well, okay, it's not time for that. Let's see how we can go naked. Maybe at your house, maybe you can dance naked in the kitchen. Okay, that's good. You do the thing you want to do, and you're not outside going to jail maybe for public scandal or something. And when, but yeah, because this point of balance, like inner work is very important, but then we need the adult to develop itself to balance everything inside. So it's like we're not one part, we're many parts, and we need to balance all these energies. So I think,
And
well, answering your question, everybody
yeah.
will benefit from.
To sum it up, yeah, we all need that. We all need it. And I want to learn more about the feminine archetypes. What are they? Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, the feminine archetypes, as other archetypes, are the different parts we will naturally develop in a total healthy environment. For example, we've always seen in ancient movies like the young boy needs to become an adult, and he goes to the forest and hunts something or stays 3 days without food and water, finding how to survive himself. So he becomes an. In the feminine archetypes, it also was worked with women in tribes and in different, still in different ancient cultures that still work. The wise women of the tribe taught the young women how to develop themselves, because it also exists for women and for men, but for women it has been forgotten. So the first one is the inner child. So once the needs of the inner child are enough supplied, then the adolescent develops in a healthy way. But the adolescent needs to learn how to manage her sexuality because it's developing. And then we have how to learn the compassion, and the wild woman, and the mother, and the queen who knows how to support herself and give herself her needs. And the wise woman, when we get older, we don't need to be 70 to be wise, no? Or some 70 women or men are still working with the inner child because they did it. So it's not that it needs to be aligned in development, because when you work with the mother, you can also motherhood your child, and the child teaches you how to again be free in the wild woman. So all are working together at the same time. And even if we have some needs that are not still supplied, the development happens, maybe not in that in such a healthy way, but it develops anyways. Some people work with sexuality to manipulate others. That would be the dark side of the wild woman. You know your power, but you use it to satisfy the needs you really had as a child.
Yeah. So feminine archetypes and inner child work go together hand in hand, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And how do you do your coaching? For example, someone finds you through the pink sphere. How do you start? Do the clients come knowingly, or you find it yourself and start working on it?
Some people have done lots of work, especially who are looking for more. They usually come with lots of work done, which is amazing because we directly go to the topic. We just go. And other people don't know what's going on with them. They feel lost and they had to deal with life, or maybe their children are growing and they don't know how to handle them because no one handled them. It doesn't know how to handle others in this
Yeah.
special stage of as teenagers. So in those cases, I just let them tell me their story. I ask, how did you grow up? How was your family environment? How did you feel with this? Da 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 da. So I have a picture of how her mind works, how it was developed, their needs. And then we go there. Then we reconnect with the inner child inside of her, and then check what needs are still needed. So how can we satisfy them, and then how to express in a way that it's not so disruptive for her life, because she needs to express. But sometimes, just 10 minutes ago, a friend of mine was telling me, "You're a psychologist." I said she was making a joke, and my psychologist, he always tells me that I cannot just blame at people and like, okay, it depends on the consequences. If you want to blame them, you can, but
Yeah.
depending if they're your employer or whatever, maybe you should just adapt how to tell things. You
Yeah.
have to tell, but how to adapt it. She's very, very
Important.
brave,
Yeah.
and like it's like, okay, but if you want to, you can. Of course, you can. But if you are blaming people around all around, it's like, okay, maybe you will
Maybe
you will
stop.
have consequences. Yes. So that's the point. So we work in this aspect, and then we go more and more, and I use all the energies to work with them. Like, how can you be your own mother? How would you treat yourself? If they have children, sometimes it's easier because they know how to give love to them, so it's easier for them to just transpose what they're doing for the children to their inner. So
Yeah.
it's it's easier in that way. But we also work with other types. As we go in the work, we go that way.
And
Maybe, for example, with if we reach the queen, or she's trying to develop a new business or something like that. It's like, okay, then we need to be your mother, but you need to be the queen and the wise. You have to incarnate to embody those energies, because you have to manage all the energies, and the queen and the wise do that.
and for the ladies watching us today, what is one simple but powerful way to start reconnecting with who we really are, with our inner child, perhaps? What is that simple way?
I will find a safe space in my mind. You can do that with a meditation if you have some. You don't need to do it every day, but like,
Yeah.
create a safe space there. So when you go and meditate, you can call your inner child to the
How do you
space.
do that?
You just call it. It's inside of you. So just call it. It's like you
Do I
invite
say,
a
do I say,
to appear.
come, Nadine, come,
Yeah,
come
exactly. Well,
back, Nadine?
are you there? Maybe the first times she doesn't appear because she's protecting herself. So it's a matter of being a mother there, how to hold the space so she can appear and trust you again. The point here is how to trust myself again. And our conflicts with trust are rooted in our childhood. So she's probably protecting herself. In this kind of work, as in therapy, our our how to say our labor is how to create the space to hold her so she can express herself. When she starts to express herself, it's easier because she's not gonna stop. It's just like, it's amazing. Like, oh well, yeah, today I would like to have an ice cream. Okay, after work I'm going to have an ice cream. And by the way, I'm taking my own kids, and we're going, all of us, having this ice cream together. So it's it's not the ice cream itself. This is just an example. It's creating this space where she can trust, and then you can ask, why are you needing? How do you feel? How how would you what would you do in the situation? This is a way of building again trust. That we can ask her anything. Then we can take a situation that were most traumatic for ourselves. For example, if someone, a teacher, for example, told us something that was traumatic for us, like a shock, an emotional shock, then we can go with the child to that situation. But now she's not alone because we are with her. So in the very situation, we can stop it and ask her, what will you need right now? What can I do for you? And that's a way of self-healing. Sometimes you need someone to guide you, but that's a easy thing to do at home. It
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
requires time.
So what if you go there, you find her, but you can't find the answers? Perhaps it's your mind, of course, resisting, you know? Perhaps you're scared to find the answers.
Yeah.
Is it that moment that you ask for help from a professional,
Yeah, I will do that.
because we
Yeah.
all have things that we cannot admit to ourselves. We don't want
Hmm.
to hear the answers. We keep pushing them, and hide from them. And what if you realize you perhaps find the answer, but you're too
Hmm.
scared to admit? I don't know if it's making sense what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you
Yeah.
do then?
Mm. In that case, what I do personally is ask for help, because the more work you do with yourself, and especially if you, let's be honest, when we start healing, we read a lot, watch lots of videos, we learn lots of things. That's good, but that's just feeds our mind.
Mm-hmm.
And our mind in this situation is the same one that kept us alive with these coping mechanisms. So I'm giving it more tools to escape.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more clever, yes, but at some point our mind is more clever than me, because it is working 24 hours a day. I go to sleep, but it doesn't. So there's a point where my coping mechanisms act in a very subtle way, so I cannot access that
Mm-hmm.
information that will be healing. In this case, what I do is ask for help to my therapist
Mm-hmm.
or a new, if I want to try something new. But as a therapist, what I do is the same, but from outside. Create a space, a safe space, where the person starts talking, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
my where my active analytic listening is like on all the time, because there's these subtle and conscious sentences people say, and I'm just, okay, this is the root. And usually people tell me, no, but what I meant is, yeah, yeah, of course I know what you meant, but I also listening
Mm-hmm.
what you are saying. And when you're not aware, your mind is talking, and that's where I
Yeah.
listen, and we're gonna
Yeah.
unroll from there. Okay, once
Yeah.
a mother came and told me, but I am my son. It's like, wow, there was this
Yeah.
kind of symbiotic toxic relationship between mother and
Mm-hmm.
child, and it was like, okay, we need to work this.
Yeah.
These kind of
Yeah.
sentences, or, for example, but my work is my life. It's like, wow, so if you don't
That's a
work,
big.
you die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because mine do these simple associations, and
Mm-hmm.
the opposite rules at the same time. So if my work is my life, if I don't work, I die. So it's like, so your
Okay.
worth is based on work, apparently, and then we start working. Even if it's unconscious for myself, because I cannot listen it to myself when I say it, other people, a therapist, can listen to it, and oops,
Yeah.
okay, then we face
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. The reason I asked, what happens when you can't face the answers to your questions is because, as my husband is a clinical psychologist, he always says you should not open any boxes that you can't close back at a session, you know? And if you go to a place where you're so scared to go, and when you're alone while doing this, and
Hmm.
if you cannot recover from it, what
Hmm.
happens then? You go into a even harder situation, perhaps.
Hmm. If you go alone to those places, the most probable thing that will happen is that you don't reach that place,
Hmm.
because
Okay.
mind is always protecting itself.
Okay.
It,
Okay.
mind's mission is always protecting.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the tools it has, it will protect in a way or another. But
Mm-hmm.
the most common thing, it's very difficult to go inside, to dedicate the time for yourself. So getting lost in there is even more difficult. It's like
Mm-hmm.
having dreams, lucid dreams is difficult enough. People are afraid of getting lucid dreams and get lost in the dreaming world. It's like it's
Yeah.
difficult enough to have a lucid dream, so it's even more difficult to there because usually anything wakes you up. In this case, it's the same. Maybe you're touching something, and then you're scared, and you get out of that state. That's a good
Mm-hmm.
point to check for help, to ask for help.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
For someone feeling lost in their personal growth, and perhaps they're watching us right now, what's the first question they should ask themselves? Do you want me
I
to
will
ask it
go.
again?
No, 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 no. I was just structuring the answer in my head. I will first ask myself what I'm feeling right now and
Mm-hmm.
what do I need right now. Um, in this sense, what I'm trying to do is to tell people to go back to your body. When you don't know how to do or where to go to basics. Breathe and ask your body, what do I feel? Like, go back to your body because our unconscious mind is stored in our bodies. Our body becomes our unconscious. So
Mm-hmm.
if you ask your body, that's why when you try to push yourself into some more work, there's the point your body says, that's it. Anxiety attack, heart attack, or just stress enough to stop because it's in the body. So healing goes through the body too. If you ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Or what do I need right now? You will see that probably it's been a long time you don't give yourself that what you need. Like maybe I need a walk or a good conversation or just a coffee alone or with a friend. How long
Mm-hmm.
how long has it been that I don't do that? That I abandon myself. And then you come back to your abandonment or your redemption or your the boon you have in the scope.
Thank you, Elisa, for your amazing answers to my questions. And for those bearing with us with our not so perfect English, thank you too. Whew. Well, that's it for this week's 30 Minutes of Pink. Big thanks to Elisa for helping us see that healing doesn't mean becoming someone new. It means remembering who we are before the world told us to shrink. And if this conversation felt like something you needed to hear, you can find more at thepinksphere.com. Support, coaching, and space for the parts of you that are still finding their way. Follow the podcast, send this to someone on their own healing path, and join us again next week. Another voice, another shift, same safe space. You're not behind. You're just coming home to yourself. Okay? Bye.